The only cereal I know anything about is Rice Krispies.
Greetings, guest. Welcome to the Patriarchy, where we explore cinema classics fueled by predictive Hollywood programming and unpack how our favorite characters in cinema got egg all over their faces. I am your commentator, Dom, and tonight we're unpacking Serial Mom. Classified as a satirical, dark comedy, widely known as a cult classic, Serial Mom made its debut in 1994 and was both written and directed by John Waters. Now, it's worthy to note the catalog of movies written and directed by Mr. Waters. His creations include Female Trouble, Pink Flamingos, and Multiple Maniacs. All films which portray a central female or female-esque character involved in some sort of degenerate criminal activity. Noticing a theme here? Starring Kathleen Turner as Beverly Sutphin, Serial Mom is positioned as a true crime story centered around the grim escapades of a serial killer in Baltimore, Maryland, who also happens to be a woman. But Beverly Sutphin isn't just any type of woman. She's the classic housewife, PTA mom, and upstanding all-American wife, mother, and friend. Packaged as the quintessential housewife, within her nuclear family clearly exists a mini matriarchy, as Beverly is obviously the dominant head who crafts the perfect life for her family by any means necessary. This strong desire for a patriarchal, normative, perfect middle-class American life drives Beverly to kill. Let's take a look at her victims and dissect why she took them out. Victim number 1, Mr. Paul Stubbins. Mr. Stubbins is the math teacher of Beverly's teenage son, Chip. When she meets with Mr. Stubbins at a PTA meeting, he voices some outlandish and out-of-bounds concerns about her son. He questions whether there is a stressor occurring in Beverly's household, like divorce, then recommends that her son, Chip, seek therapy simply because he enjoys watching horror films. The remarks made by Chip's math teacher were not only out of line, but they also challenged Beverly's role as a mother and questioned how she's raising her son. Beverly runs over Mr. Stubbins with her car in the school parking lot. Victim number 2, Carl Pageant. Now, Carl was courting, Beverly's teenage daughter, Misty. Upon first meeting Carl, it's obvious that he's a player and that Misty has that typical teenage bad taste in men. Beverly shares her concern with Missy, but is sent over the edge when Carl stands her up, only to be found at the flea market, where Missy works, by the way, hugged up with another girl. Beverly takes the role of Mama Bear to new heights as she can't have Carl hurting her daughter. When Misty fanatically says, "I'll kill him," when upset that he stood her up, Mama Bear grants her her wish. Beverly clearly will do anything for her kids to make sure that they're happy and protected. So Beverly stabs Carl to death with a fire poker in the men's restroom at the flea market. Victim number 3 and 4, Mr. and Mrs. Sterner. Clients of her husband, Eugene, who's a dentist. The first strike for the Sterners happens when Mrs. Sterner calls Eugene on the weekend, demanding that he use his time off to attend to her husband's toothache. This act interrupted their couple time to go bird watching. We get a peek of Eugene's sinister side here too, when he's seen enjoying drilling down on Mr. Sterner's tooth to remove decay. Mr. Sterner even notes that he's hurting him on purpose. Beverly also walks in on the Sterners talking trash about her husband and his dentistry skills, and Mr. Sterner clearly disobeying doctor's orders by eating sweets. Beverly can't have people talking about her husband, and also didn't like Mrs. Sterner pulling him away from quality time with his family. She stabs Mrs. Sterner with a pair of scissors and drops an AC unit on top of Mr. Sterner as he tried to escape the house. Victim number 5, Mrs. Jensen. When Beverly is found out and on the run, her son Chip and his girlfriend hide her in the back room of the video store where he works. This is when Beverly overhears a customer, Mrs. Jensen, giving her son a hard time by not being considerate and rewinding the videotapes that she rents. A perfect society doesn't consist of blatantly inconsiderate people, so she had to go. Another one for Chip. Beverly bludgeons Mrs. Jensen to death with a piece of meat while watching Annie.
Rewind!
Victim number 6, Scotty. Scotty is a friend of Chip who we see Beverly is annoyed by from the beginning of the movie. He doesn't wear a seatbelt and is kind of a bad influence on her son, and most importantly, Scotty is actually the only one that Beverly catches and sees watching her in the act, so he had to go. She lights Scotty on fire with a makeshift blowtorch at a Camel Toe concert. Victim number 7, Juror number 8. Lastly, Juror number 8 did nothing wrong except repeatedly wear white shoes after Labor Day. Now, why is Beverly upset by this? I don't think it's arbitrary that this is Beverly's last kill. This opposing, new, fashion-forward statement challenges her views, long upheld views in a big way. It's symbolic of a new world, a cultural shift from the old, idyllic, model American housewife society and era from which Beverly tries so strongly to uphold. Juror number 8 wasn't upholding tradition. She wasn't following the societal rule that a summer wardrobe should be retired after that first Monday in September.
Didn't your mother ever tell you?
Beverly beats her upside the head with a payphone.
Now you know.
Special tribute to Dottie Hinkle. Although she didn't die, she was a victim, and we can't end this video without talking about Beverly's torture of Dottie Hinkle. It's my opinion that Dottie's scenes brilliantly make this film because without her, this story would have just been really dark, sans humor, barbaric, and a bit unsensible. This poor middle-aged divorcee was the comic relief as she was harassed by Beverly throughout the entire film, with obscene phone calls, nasty letters, and framing her for a broken Fabergé egg.
Pussy Willow's Dottie.
Oh my goodness! What are you doing? I didn't do it!
My Franklin Mint Fabergé egg!
So why was Beverly harassing Dottie exactly? There isn't too big of a faux pas here. Dottie simply took a parking spot that Beverly was waiting for at the store, so she earns the Lifetime Harassment Award.
Did you see that?
In summary, this dark comedy was about a woman with a strong moral code who wished to see a perfect world and removed anyone who deviated or got in the way of her crafting her perfect middle-class American reality. That's a serial mom. So, what are your thoughts on this film? It's not super deep, but such a fun movie to watch. What are some of your other favorite cult classics from the 90s? Drop some titles in the comments below so I can check them out. And if you've made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Signing off now, your friend, Dom.